Okay, and we are back. Zoom decided to play a prank on us, but we're here. We figure it out. Joel, how are you, man?
Dude, I'm doing great. I am happy to be with you again, my friend. We were just together the other day. Those of you that are following us here on our Facebook page, you guys may have seen that we had a fun little Facebook Live with Obed and I hanging out at Cybertron Games. But it was good to catch up with you, man. It was good to see you.
Yeah, man. Haven't seen you in a couple of months, so definitely good to go back and catch up, man, because it's been a while.
Yeah, so, I mean, we can only do so many Zoom calls and text messages, right? Till
Yeah,
we
exactly.
till we get the dudes together.
We can only share so many memes until we have to come and do it live. We're doing
We
it
found
live.
every Star Wars meme there is, dude.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, there's quite a few there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but it was good, man. Cybertron was pretty good. They had a pretty decent selection.
Yeah.
Guys were friendly, so yeah, and it was good. Uh, yeah, I was actually quite excited that I found that copy of Virtua
Of
Fighter Five,
course.
and I nailed it like right away because today we got the news right, and we'll talk about it later on in the podcast. But yeah, they had a pretty decent selection. A little bit dry in the console side. They did have like a ton like with like three Wii U's for some reason, right?
Yeah.
2 to 3. I think that was the most they had. And DS like 3DS because 3DS sold really well. So
Oh,
that
sure.
thing's everywhere. And yeah, the game selection was decent. No, nothing on the Vita. They had like 3 games for Vita, so not much. They did have that copy of Panzer Dragoon Saga. That game is so hard to find, man. And it's like it was like 1,500, and that is yeah, like I mentioned yesterday when we were at the shop, that it really is one of the like holy grails of collectibles when it comes to gaming. It was quite impressive to see one in the wild. I mean, I haven't seen one in the wild since release, since it came out. So that was pretty interesting. For some reason, that game eluded me and never got it back when it came out. I think I had moved on from the Saturn. I was so disappointed in Sega back then. It's like I really. I think I started doing like N64 stuff and moved away from that, but I should have gotten it. Shouldn't gotten it. Um, but yeah, that was pretty good. It's pretty good. Definitely, yeah. Good to see you. Good to hang out and at least do something interesting.
We found though from a console side, we did find one Xbox Series S.
Yeah, they had one in stock.
They had
Yeah,
one in stock. I've never seen that thing on a shelf, so that was funny.
yeah. Was it 399 with a controller, right?
Right next to a controller.
Yeah. So it's a you are paying a $35 premium on top of that, but if you're looking for it, that's not too bad. Like
Yeah.
that's not.
For convenience of just picking it up same day, you can go home and
Yeah.
have it.
That's definitely not scalper rates for sure.
No.
I went somewhere recently, Joe. Um, I can't remember. I think it was Best Buy, and they had a Xbox One S for
Mm.
like 250, like
Wow.
whatever the regular price was.
At that point, it's like a collector's item. Like no one's really like, oh man, I can't wait to get my new,
Yep.
you know.
Yeah. Man, this episode is gonna be riddled with technical issues.
Oh
For
boy.
sure. It's bad, dude.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have to scrap this one and just go with the Facebook
Go with the Facebook Live.
Live. I just realized that I was muted for like the last few minutes. So
No way.
yeah, because I went back. I kept OBS running and I muted everything and I unmuted you and I guess I forgot to unmute myself. So
Want to carry this back from the top.
okay, yeah, Cybertron games really good. Panzer Dragoon Saga, $1,500, holy grail of collectibles, very good, lots of fun. So, yeah, rolling it back, right? Good to see you. We're all to hang out for a little bit. Yeah, we'll make this work.
We'll make this work, guys. Our apologies. You know what?
We
It's
have
been a week, but
honestly, we haven't had any major issues in a very long time.
oh yeah, oh
Very,
yeah,
very long time. We've been very consistent
yes,
with our troubles. So, you guys, please excuse us. This is not normal for us, but we're still here.
we're still here.
So, Joe, you want to talk Bad Batch
Yeah,
a
of
little bit?
course,
Okay.
definitely.
Oh,
It's good
before
Star Wars.
yeah, before that, I do have a couple things. Sekiro is real good, like real good, like real good. It's great. It's, I mean, I could see that a game getting game of the year nods back when it came out because it did, and that it is good. It's really it's difficult. It's for some reason I find the bosses harder than the bosses on Bloodborne. I think the game itself, like the progression when you go to like from point A to point B, a Bloodborne is probably a little bit more difficult.
Yeah,
At least when you're starting to play this sort of game. And the bosses in Bloodborne are very straightforward. This was just like, oh man, this takes skill, like real skill. So it's very interesting, very good game, very very good. Almost done with Resident Evil 7. Again, I don't know how I slept on that game for so long. Me being an RE fan, it's very good. It is very very good. So I'm looking forward to trying out 8, and hopefully around E3 we'll learn more about the RE4 remake. But yeah, Bad Batch, um, decent episode. This last one,
yep,
we got Fennec into the mix, and wondering who is Fennec working for.
right.
Because I got a theory, and I haven't watched any. Um, I haven't
Breakdowns or
I
anything.
haven't watched any breakdowns. I haven't watched anything since. I think I haven't watched any breakdowns since like the second to last episode for Falcon Winter Soldier. I mean, I didn't even watch a breakdown for the last episode. Uh,
Yeah,
so I think that she's actually working for Palpatine. And
wow.
I'm gonna say because of whatever is causing whatever caused Omega to be different, he's trying to replicate that for the thing that he's doing. The clone himself for Ray basically, right?
Right.
So that's my theory. My theory is that it's Palpatine. He's behind everything. Um, and Omega may be force sensitive to I don't think she'll
Yeah.
become a Jedi or something more than that, right? But I think she's different enough where Palpatine's the one looking for her. So it's my theory on that one. But yeah, overall decent episode. Liked it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I like the inclusion of Fennec. I like how man the graphics on this episode, dude. Like I know you haven't seen
It was good.
Raya yet, but when you do, which is coming in the coming days here soon on
Mm-hmm.
Disney Plus, but it like the graphics of this particular I don't know this one in particular remind me of like that movie. I'm like, geez, like Disney's not holding back.
Wow.
Anyways, Fennec being in here, like they don't really show you much of she's a bounty hunter, but like you don't really get much of her Mandalorian connection, which is a good thing because that's obviously clear to us that like we'll see her coming together with Boba probably in this series, or a mention of her heading towards something that will be connected to him or something. I don't think that they're just having her character here and not going to give us intentional backstory, especially knowing that the book
Yeah.
of Boba Fett is coming
Mm-hmm.
later on. I think this is gonna like just help extend that character a little more. So for the Star Wars fans that are watching this, when we do watch Book of Boba Fett, we're like even more into it because we've seen this character a lot. Everyone knows Boba Fett. Like we don't need like Boba Fett to show up in this show to set up for the Book of Boba Fett. Like we know who he is, we know his whole thing. We got enough of where he was in the Mandalorian series, but like Fennec was very new for us. Seeing her in that first season of the Mandalorian, this season of the second season of Mandalorian now, and this, so they're setting it up nicely to give us that backstory for her character, and I appreciate that. Right, like this is why we care about these characters, because we've known them for a while, we've seen them progress. This is why Ahsoka Tano does so well. This is why all these characters that Dave Filoni puts together in his worlds, like he really does make you care about them intentionally. And as we've talked about before, Mr. Promotion, which allegedly he's had that title for a while now. I did see that going around. That wasn't necessarily new.
It was like a clarification out
Yeah,
there, which is interesting, right?
yeah,
Because that means that I don't know if someone got salty internally and actually posted that. Uh,
yeah,
it sounds to me like the way they reacted to it makes it seem like a bigger deal, actually.
yeah,
So
yeah. I'm I used to be of the mindset that I'm like I'll believe it when I see it with Kathleen, but it's like stuff like this happening seems small, but to me and you and I, we work in the business space. We understand how corporations are. Like stuff like this doesn't just oops. Like there's clearly some things behind this. This kind of that's a big title. I'm sorry. Like he's got a big role sitting on there. So
yeah.
I'm excited for it. It's great for us. It doesn't matter. He's had it for a few months now. Anyways, um, I agree with you on Omega. Like I've been feeling that she's force sensitive. I've been feeling that she's
Uh,
force sensitive for a bit. Now I'm not gonna I don't want to make this like I don't want to get all Last Jedi on this where I start thinking like I figured it out and it's like she's
oh,
like not connected to Palpatine and she
yeah.
doesn't have the force and she's just another clone that's just cool and came out special. Like if that happens, I'm not gonna be mad. Like that's actually fine. But I do feel like they've intentionally kept her very mysterious. And I don't think you make a character like that mysterious just for them to be another clone that just so happens to be, in the early stages as a kid that just, developed differently because she's more aware of things or whatever. Like the hairstyle from the beginning, I was like, it's a little palpy,
Yeah.
and
That
there's the people wanting her. It's a little,
yeah, it could be that that the reason her hair is different, right?
yeah,
It's because they have they injected some Palpatine in there,
yeah,
and she's like the prototype of like that,
right.
the
The show would get
the
dark,
base.
man, if that happens.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I would love that.
I would love that. Yeah, that would be a good twist. I would definitely appreciate it. Um, yeah, I mean, because we don't know, right? Like the dude didn't look like Palpatine, like his son or whatever, the clone.
No.
So it could be that something in Jango Fett's DNA was what really um was working for the Camino ones, and then after that they just started experimenting with variations on the clones. So yeah, we'll see. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Um, yeah, but yeah, it's a good episode overall. I think it was good. Um, Echo is like disguised as the droid was pretty funny.
That was funny.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Um, I'm not sure what's going on with Wrecker, right? Because Wrecker, like out of the box, like he comes out and he wrecks stuff, right? And he does it well, right? Yeah, hence the name Wrecker.
Right.
But for some reason, if I think he's injured or something. Like something's probably gonna happen to Wrecker. Like I have that feeling.
Well, his head doesn't seem screwed on right. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Like he's a big dude, but he doesn't seem all that there. So, you know,
yeah. It's
I-
all bronze, no brains,
yeah,
basically.
like
Yeah,
his chip might have affected his neurological capabilities. I don't
could
know.
have. Yeah, Yeah, I guess
All are
we'll.
remember they all are technically they're all defective. Technically,
Yeah, yeah,
they're all like it. Like the testing just went crazy and like, well, this is what we got, so we're just gonna make this a special unit.
yeah. Exactly. I mean, that's the whole thing of the show. So
Yeah.
yeah. Well, we'll see. I'm looking forward to more of that. I haven't watched anything else of note. That I'm trying to remember. No, yeah. In the last few days, I haven't watched anything. I'm gonna try now that we got some time off to finish um Titans and wait for season 3 or whatever, and then I'll see what I'll gravitate to next. Like I'm
Stargirl.
now.
It's pretty good. It's pretty
Yeah,
good.
you told me it was good.
It's
Yeah,
pretty
I
good.
remember. I remember
Like I
you.
mean, for what it is, like you have to know, like it's more kiddie.
Yeah.
But I've seen some bad kid ones. That's not pretty bad.
Okay.
Decent.
Speaking of back hit ones, did you see what happened to the Powerpuff Girls thing
Oh,
on
I know.
CW? Yeah, that was
Yeah,
interesting.
reshooting the entire pilot.
That was interesting. That means that it was really bad.
It means they didn't have a plan, like J.J. Abrams says.
Oh, we'll transition to that in a second, sir. But yeah, it's interesting that they actually shot the pilot and then it was like, oh no, we'll reshoot everything. We'll keep the cast, right, and give this another whirl. But the way I understand it, right, when I read the article was that they're shifting the tone. They're not just redoing the pilot. They're shifting the tone of well, the series itself. It looks like so interesting. J.J. Abrams. Joel, I mean, who would have thought that if you plan things out before actually applying, or trying to tackle a project, right? I mean, who would have thought that planning was an important part of the entire project? So we got J.J. Abrams in an interview today saying that, yeah, basically they learned the hard way that they needed to plan this out. Huh? All right, you can talk as much crap as you want about George Lucas, right?
Yeah,
But at least he planned it out.
he knew what he wanted. The man didn't waffle. Might have been crazy, but he knew what he
Yep,
wanted.
yep, yep. Exactly. Yeah, it was. He might have been crazy with Texas, Trade Federation blockade. So, uh, man, I mean, come on, JJ, and you and
Well,
you. Go
I
ahead.
don't blame JJ though, dude. I think that's a shot. He's taking a shot. I know people are like, he's like saying,
Okay,
I think he's defending his job on these movies, saying like,
okay,
yeah, like I learned I ain't gonna do something that doesn't have a plan involved, because I don't think it didn't make him look
okay,
good. Like he had a JJ had a very decent film history, right? Like generally speaking, like from where his early stages, his Cloverfield stuff, you know, Star Trek and other stuff, like people were like respectable of JJ. I don't there are people who are hype fans of him, like JJ is the best, but generally speaking, people respected his work.
yeah,
And I think now, like when it comes to Star Wars, because of the backlash that people have given, although he still gave the best one out of all the new ones, which was The Force Awakens, like he still knows like that didn't make him look any better with the way people feel about and people may not feel as strongly about the Rise of Skywalker that they did with the Last Jedi, but people still had some big gripes with that movie. So it's still I think he's taking a shot. I think him saying like, "Hey, have a plan." I think he's taking a shot at the big people because
makes
like
sense.
the Variety article that came out early on where like I think it was Variety, like they interviewed like Disney insiders and the insider very very explicitly like put something out where it was like, yeah, Kevin Feige is not going to come in and take the job, but like Kevin Feige is the best that like Disney has when it comes to like these organizations. The way the whole thing was written, like however this person inside Disney was talking, they were really trying to throw Kathleen under the bus. Like they were completely trying to say like she doesn't know what she's doing. And we've gotten those senses before. Um, but I think it's very indicative of like I know people always compare her to Kevin Feige, but I think that's the best comparison we can give right now in those kinds of roles. And it's like people got mad at Kevin early on for like, directors getting fired and actors being changed and whatever. Like, what's going on? This is weird, whatever. But like Kevin stuck true to what he had with the MCU, and he always has. Like, it's very obvious. I mean, the
Yep.
dude literally had forced a restructure to happen at Disney just so he can get movies like Black Panther and Black Widow come out. Because he was like, we're gonna make a movie with a black lead, and we're gonna make a movie with a female, and I don't care about Ike Perlmutter. Like, this is the guy who gets stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at like with someone like Kathleen, it seems to me like she's actually a little bit too free spirited. That's the feelings that I get out of it, which is why you kind of get this all over the place, where it's like, I want a little bit of this and I want to have that. It's like trying to go to the all you can eat buffet and just trying to put all the stuff on there, and it just does not sit well when you try to digest it. That's kind of how I feel like her style is leading the stuff. She's probably fine if she was just in a producing role that she can give input but not be the person who actually directs, puts this whole thing together.
Yeah.
That's probably fine. But when it comes to this, like running a world, she don't got a plan, man. It's very obvious.
Man.
This plan is probably changing on a quarterly basis at Lucasfilm. She's probably shuffling stuff around all the time.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan should have been out sooner, dude. Let's be real. Like, how do you reset that whole Obi-Wan thing?
Yeah, because I think, well, the rumor is that there was already a script approved that was basically had this female lead, and we didn't see Obi-Wan until like the last episode or whatever, right?
Wow, I didn't hear that one.
You didn't hear that one?
No. I just all I knew was like Deborah Chow was like, I'm in and now I'm gone. Like, now I'm like waiting. Like, so I was like, what is going on?
So apparently there was a first draft. The first draft that was approved by Kennedy was basically Obi-Wan was in the final like third of the series, and it was basically a female lead going around the galaxy looking for Obi-Wan and doing the thing, right? Like Obi-Wan was, yeah.
That's the same thing you guys did in Force Awakens.
So
where you have Rey looking for Luke all this time. Yep. Like, Luke's here, done.
So I don't know when. I mean, that's the one that supposedly she approved, and then after the whole Last Jedi thing and Rise of Skywalker thing happened with the fans, that's when basically redid everything. My understanding is that character that was supposed to be like the quote unquote lead is still there, but in a much reduced role, and Obi-Wan is front and center now.
Well, it could be this lady that the actress that put on her Instagram, like, I wield a lightsaber or something along those lines.
Yeah, it could be.
Maybe like, an apprentice or something. But, but the idea though, like, man, like this, I want a Clone Wars like flashbacks, and
we'll get them.
I want the Obi-Wan Anakin thing to be the movie. Like, it's really Obi-Wan's the hero. He's the protagonist. But like, I want Anakin equally there. Like, if you're gonna have Hayden Christensen come back, go big. Like, just this is it. This is your chance to have both of these guys on screen again. That's it. This is your chance.
I'm sure we're gonna get a flashback with them both and Ahsoka and.
In their white armor
in the Clone Wars armor, I'm sure we're gonna get it, dude. And I will beg. I haven't bought a Star Wars figure in years. I will pre-order and buy because it's been out, right? And there's versions of it, like the Ewan McGregor with the armor sort of like figure from like Sideshow Collectibles, but there hasn't been like an actual one based on a show, so this will probably be the one. So
better happen.
Yeah. I was actually browsing Big Bad Toy Store the other day, and they had a bunch of newer stuff from the Black Series, and price is good. I mean, they're up for pre-order, and a lot of Mando stuff and whatnot. So it's good stuff. They do have good stuff coming out there, and I mean, fortunately, if you were looking for your Cara Dune action figure, that's not going to happen. And you want to talk about the show that got canceled? because we
Yeah,
that
Rangers of the Republic.
yeah, that happened in between episodes. So yeah,
Yep.
Rangers of the Republic got canceled. So what do you think of that, man?
I mean, it does feel like it was a Gina Carano thing. Like, hey, she was gonna be the lead.
Yeah.
So here it goes again, the shuffling, right? The all-you-can-eat
Yeah.
buffet. Like, throw that one out. They were
Well,
because
yeah.
that was to me honestly like out of all the ones announced, people were like, "Oh, I'm excited for this." I like that was one of those like on my lower like it's Star Wars. Don't get me wrong, you could make a whole Jar Jar Binks show. I'm gonna be watching it, but like I will. But like this one, I was like, like why do we need this? Like it's not gonna like the Bad Batch as an animated. I like that, but for a live action thing, just doesn't really float my boat.
Yeah. That was definitely low in the totem pole for me. Like out of all the shows they announced and everything they announced last in the during that last meeting, that was probably the one down right at the bottom
Yeah.
because it was Obi Wan, Ahsoka, Andor. I'm actually looking forward to Andor
Now I am.
because
Yeah.
yeah, the thing with I think he's really a compelling character that we got enough of him to we know enough, right? But it would be interesting if they actually go back to like I'm 6 years old and getting into the rebellion and all that, like going back into that backstory. That would be
Take
real
that
interesting.
one scene where he talks about like, oh my life, whatever. Take that one exposition and give us a sequence.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Um. Well, it's. I mean, I'm expecting the big shuffle to happen here in October because that's when Disney closes their fiscal year. So we'll
And
see.
her contract comes to an end at the end of this year. So there has to be a announcement, whether it's renewal or cancel. Like we're gonna find out. Fate will
Exactly.
be decided.
Exactly. Um,
Take a seat.
yeah, it's like, oh man, it's brutal. Don't
Yeah.
don't grant her the rank of master. Um, so Eternals. I don't know what's going on. Visually, you send me you send me a
Yeah.
text, right? It's like
Yep.
Eternals is pretty good. It's visually astounding or something like that, or
Yeah.
astonishing. Yeah, I totally agree because it is definitely visually it looks really good. Like definitely the cinematography and looks like the directing is top notch. This is going to be, in my opinion, the first Marvel movie that's going to be very different from the other ones. This
Yes.
is going to be the branching path, if you want to put it in gamers terms. So this is where like we've been basically throughout the MCU starting with Iron Man. It's been going like this, and now it's gonna start going like that. And you got your Spider-Man, Doctor Strange stuff, and then you're gonna get the Eternals big picture stuff over here. So
Mhm.
and then I mean eventually it's all gonna come back. So
Yeah.
the only two things that I really want to point out is the Captain America references. I don't know if you saw them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Like, is that the shield that Cap used when he went to rescue Bucky and the other guys? So you know, yeah,
Yeah, pretty cool observation that's being pointed out also is like the trailer exposes why they fail in Infinity War, which is purely because both Steve and Iron Man aren't together. Like because they're both separately trying to take on Thanos, like they would have won if they actually would have stayed together as a team. They didn't have a leader. So that's the pretty interesting observations that people are pointing out. That's kind of obvious to most of us, but still interesting confirmation there. I know all the memes are everywhere. Like, where were these guys when,
I sent you one.
Ultron? And where were these guys when Loki was running around New York with Leviathans floating everywhere? And, all these stuff going on. And it's like,
Yeah,
guys. You know, it's not like Marvel could have just, like, there's going to be a lot more characters, put this way, that are about to be coming into the MCU. Your Fantastic Fours, your mutants. I mean, all kinds of characters are going to be coming in. You guys are going to be saying that about every character that comes through because there's some really awesome characters that Marvel's just recently got the ability with that, Fox deal, etc., to actually put in their films. So kind of get used to that feeling of just saying like, yeah, had these guys been here, things would have been different, but it's just the way it has to be. I mean, there's no way around it. Yeah, they're going to try and give us some excuse and they're going to give us some kind of thing and we couldn't interfere and an interesting little tidbit for some of you guys that are out there that are not too familiar with the with the Eternals. Like, Athena is supposed to be one of the cousins of Thanos, so they are technically family, right? So that's just a fun little backstory for some of you guys. But yeah, like, this is gonna be a normal recurring thing. There's going to be a lot more really cool characters, like Magneto when he shows up, and Charles. Like, you're gonna be like, why weren't these guys around? Yeah, there's not
yeah,
really gonna be a good answer.
yeah. But my line of thought behind all this is that the snap changed everything. When the first snap happened, that it really threw everyone off for a
Yeah,
curve, and in a at a cosmic level,
yeah.
and that's what changed everything. So yeah, it's interesting. Again, visually, it looks very stunning. Cast is great.
The
So
director, dude. I mean, we posted about it on our social media. Chloe Zhao. I mean, this lady won Best Director, and she's directing a movie coming out this year for Marvel. Like, that they're gonna milk that cow for quite a bit because that's a pretty big deal. And obviously, we see some very respectable names acting in this film, so I expect a very quality. This might be one of the more. I'm not going to say that the Oscars or something are going to recognize it, but it might feel a little out of place with your typical MCU film to some degree.
yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, it's gonna be it's a different feel for sure.
Yeah,
And it seems like it still keeps some of the MCU humor in there, so it's not
sure.
dry and whatnot. It looks like it's gonna be it's gonna be different but familiar. If if you know what I mean on that, it's like when they transitioned to Winter Soldier, that was to me like the biggest change in the MCU, because the MCU was very different before that point. I think Winter Soldier changed everything. It's like they explored a more mature thing and more I'd say more convoluted story. Convoluted in a good way. I That's the wrong word. I should say complex story, right? And they go back and they explore the characters that are already established in a different light. So yeah, it was very good. So I think this, like Winter Soldier, will be a turning point for the MCU. Not that it's gonna be like all the rest of the movies are, because we know that Spider-Man is gonna be very different. We know Doctor Strange is gonna be very different. He was originally thought to be more of a horror movie, which it still is, right? Because as far as I know, they have those change in director, but the script is the same. As far as we know, right? We haven't heard anything about that. But we'll see. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, looks good. Looks really like well shot, bro. It looks
yeah,
really nice. Yeah.
yeah, man.
Yep. Um, do you want to keep Marvel and then we do the other stuff? Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, sure.
So out of nowhere today, Joe, we get an announcement that Aaron Taylor Johnson, aka Quicksilver, aka Kickass, um, is was cast by Sony as Kraven the Hunter. So it I don't know. So we know that Quicksilver is not gonna be back, and if he's gonna be back, it's
Oh
not gonna be
no,
him. so
no
now,
way.
so now we know that, right? But Joe, we've talked about it before because, you being a big Spidey fan, we talked about when this movie was like still in the imagination of Sony people, back with the Aunt May movie and whatnot. Because this is one of the ones that were in that batch, that got leaked with the emails. So, how do you still feel about this movie?
I'm still digesting this because honestly, I didn't see this news until you brought it to my attention, which is not that long before we started recording. And I've been super offline, but like, I don't mind the casting. That's fine with me. It's awkward knowing that he was already in like the MCU and in that role so
Yeah.
recently. It's not the first time this has happened. Like, we all know Chris Evans was, very recognizable as Human Torch. Even when he was in that very, very first Captain America movie, it took like the second Captain America movie, like the Avengers and the second Captain America movie, for him to be like not looked upon as, hey, the guy who played Human Torch. Like now,
Mm-hmm.
people's that's in the past don't remember it.
Yeah.
But Aaron Taylor Johnson playing like this, like you said, yeah, it confirms the Quicksilver thing. I'm glad about that. Like, we don't need Quicksilver in the MCU right now. Yeah, it'd been cool to have the whole like Children of Magneto thing, but like after what they did in WandaVision, the way that was handled, I don't think it's a good look to bring back Quicksilver right now, especially if it was Quicksilver from Age of Ultron. Uh, and I don't really know how much this Kraven's going to interact with any of the MCU stuff. Like, is this a Kraven that's going to interact more with a Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man trilogy thing happening?
Hmm.
I, let your theories go at it. But it's a standalone movie, which is important to recognize. It's not, oh, he's going to be in Spider-Man. Could be, but from what we understand right now, he's just in a standalone. I do wish that they would have gone again a different actor. I do wish that we would get more clarity on what this movie is even going to be about, because this whole shtick is like he's supposed to be hunting Spider-Man, like the ultimate hunt. So what is he hunting? He's going to be hunting like some kind of knockoff thing in this movie for sure. What that is, I don't know,
He's
but it's
gonna
kind of weird.
he's gonna be hunting the arachnid human,
Yeah,
the arachnid male.
the the
so
spider monkey.
it's,
Um, but like the one thing that I will take away from instantly here, like you said early on, like we've talked about this from the inception of hey, it's an idea that this is something that Sony wants to do. Like hearing movies like this getting greenlit, we already know obviously Morbius is on the way and Venom comes out this year. Like this now makes me think, okay, there's like no doubt in my mind Sinister Six movies coming, and there's no doubt in my mind that they're gonna do that Black Cat Silver Sable movie. Like I do believe that's. I actually believe there's a strong chance that that's the movie that the actress turned director, I can try to remember her name, as Olivia Wilde, I think, supposed to be
oh, okay,
directing.
okay, okay. Yeah.
I actually right now would say that there's a higher chance that it's a Black Cat Silver Sable movie than even Gwen Stacy movie, because Gwen Stacy wasn't really talked about in those early concepts, and Sony has a thing for going back and we put all these ideas together and then pulling when they do actually make something, the director pulls some things that have already been put on the board. So like a lot of the ideas that were in even Homecoming were ideas from the Tobey Maguire movies and stuff. Like it's very much a thing. So yeah, like future Sony, I think this is indicative of like all those things that we heard before, except for the crazy Aunt May, spy movie.
Oh
Like
my
all those, like when we started hearing, dude, all these different movies. Remember, we started hearing this stuff. Like
Sinister
I do
Six,
think
and yeah,
Sinister Six, Kraven, also like now it's becoming a reality.
yeah, yeah. We'll see. Nothing else to talk about that. And again, they're touting it as a standalone. Who knows, right? Because again, based on the rumors, there will be a Tobey Maguire sequel based on because of the Morbius stuff. Um, Based on other rumors, is that maybe even Garfield may get another movie. We don't know,
Right,
right?
right.
Maybe just bring it for full circle and fix the two Spider. So I mean,
Could
they could very well connect. this Spider-Man to or Kraven to the Maguire Spider-Man, and Garfield to Venom. Since we already had a Venom on the Maguire movies, we'll do it with Garfield. I mean, that's a possibility. We don't know, right? And
Yeah.
then Holland keeps doing his separate MCU Spider-Man thing. Yeah, we'll see. It's interesting. It's good stuff. I think it's Sony being able to do their own thing, right? Those rights again. Marvel did not back in the day. These things happen because Marvel was out of money. Like if I would have
It
had
was a
a
crazy
few,
thought, dude.
yeah, if I would have been had a few bucks, I could have been able to secure like Namor or something. so
Yeah.
so who has Namor?
Universal. Universal still has a piece of him.
Okay, but has a piece of him, but they haven't produced anything. So
Right. How does that work? That's interesting because usually, like, there has to be a movie, a book, something with the character put out there in order for them to retain the rights.
every three
That's how we've
years,
always known it.
yeah,
But everything I hear is that Universal still has it. So it's like, what's happening if?
it's
I mean,
that
there was
one.
rumors years ago Zach
Yeah.
Efron had met with Marvel about the character. There's been a few rumors, so there's got to be something coming in. That's a big character.
It is, yeah, and it's weird. It's a weird one.
And I think people have Aquaman in their site. Like I don't think that really matters. Like oh, it's close to
Yeah,
Aquaman. I don't think people really care
I don't
as long
think.
as Marvel. This is the Marvel way.
Yeah, the thing is that it's it's too similar of a character, and I can see Marvel just sitting him out because
But the other thing was there were like rumors. Remember with Black Panther that the Black Panther sequel. So I don't know that maybe he was supposed to be in it because there was rumors that the Black Panther sequel was going to be, the Atlanteans, versus Wakanda. Like there was going to be a battle between the two of them, kind of thing. Like the like two kings kind of idea.
okay, that could
So
that,
obviously now with what the tragedy of Chadwick Boseman, like that's been reset. Now it's Wakanda forever, but
yeah, they're probably
maybe
gonna
they'll
be
bring that back. I don't
refocusing.
know.
Yeah, probably gonna be refocusing. Not man, that movie. I am intrigued
Yeah,
because if if he's getting recast, which I think it's the right thing to do,
yeah,
in my opinion. Um, you know, only problem is that you have to find the right actor, right? And you cannot have a douchebag be actor be Black Panther because Boseman led by example, and it's hard. It's hard to match. It's that one's a tough
yeah,
one, but you gotta find the right person.
yeah.
Like yeah,
That's tough.
Denzel.
Oh, stop! Don't worry, guys. There's an inside joke here with that. We don't actually believe Denzel Washington should play that, but there are
Okay.
people out there who think Denzel Washington should have been the new Captain America. I'll say less.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Oh man.
I'm not gonna get myself in trouble.
Thank God for casting agents, right? And
Yeah,
yeah. You gotta get certified for that thing. That's lucky for us, right? Um,
we love
Joe.
Denzel, guys,
Yeah. Oh yeah. No hate against Denzel. He's
no,
he's absolutely phenomenal.
but
Yeah.
he's too old to be in that
Yeah.
role.
It's too old. Yes, too old. Um, we talked a few weeks ago about MGM and how financially they have not been doing very well. After the pandemic hit, they basically let a lot of people go. Their tourism side of the business is not doing good, and basically the only big franchise that they have right now is James Bond. So happened that this morning it was announced that Amazon was purchasing MGM for almost 9 billion. I think it was like 8.6 billion, if I'm not
Yeah,
wrong. Um, the big thing with MGM, right, is that not only they have James Bond, which is currently a big franchise still. It's been a big franchise for over what 60 years basically. It's been out for a while. The interesting thing with MGM is the back catalog, because they are a pillar of the of cinematic history, and that to me is the more important thing, is the again cinematic history, and now Amazon owns a part of it. But Joe, what do you think, man?
Yeah, this is a huge, huge deal. Um, I can't remember if I've mentioned it before on the podcast. I feel like I have. Like, there's been stuff floated around, opinions of like Amazon trying to get into further into the film space. Like, they already have creative productions, clearly. I don't know. But I don't know if you have Amazon Prime, but like that Tom Clancy Without Remorse. Oh
I haven't
my
seen it.
good dude, fantastic.
Gotta check it out.
And I can't believe I didn't even bring this up on the podcast before. Definitely check it out and stick around for that little stinger at the end because they're building a universe, my friend.
Oh, really?
There's the Tom Clancy world is coming together,
Okay.
which is good.
So they don't own a lot. MGM does, but they do have some really good ones. So 21 Jump Street,
Yep.
Adam's Family, All Dogs Go to Heaven, Barbershop, Bill and Ted, the Bill and Ted franchise, basically. The MGM cartoons, Clash of the Titans, the Dragon Tattoo series, Carrie, Stargate, Poltergeist, RoboCop. They own RoboCop. Own Rocky.
Mm. Mm.
So they own The Hobbit,
Okay.
because that wasn't New Line, that was MGM, or was distributed by New Line, but it was produced by MGM.
MGM got it.
Yeah, I think that was the thing. They own GI Joe,
Mm.
so they do have that. And yeah, those are the big ones. Stargate, if you wanna, Stargate was pretty big back in the TV. The TV show was very popular, and the first movie was good.
That's a
So
good list for an acquisition. Like
yeah,
that's some good names. They can do stuff there.
yep.
But there have
And
been. Sorry, go ahead.
no, no, and I'm talking about like the old stuff, like Gone with the Wind and The Wizard of Oz and all this other stuff, right? That they produced back in the day. So that to me is what it's interesting that they're more that they're acquiring. So
Yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
mean, like I said before, there's been rumors of them trying to get deeper into like the film space. They already have their original content, but there's been rumors of like these people buying like Amazon. No, sorry, Amazon buying AMC. Sorry, like buying AMC theaters.
hmm
So, like, imagine it being Amazon theaters, like, and they could put out their own
so
movies exclusive like that and stuff like things like Amazon is the future. Let's be honest of everything.
yeah.
We're ridiculously rich. They can buy a lot of things. So it is a monopoly, and they win. So
T-
this could be a bigger domino.
yeah. Did you see that? Now that you mentioned AMC, do you see that there was one of the Chinese companies that owned like a majority stake? They dumped their stock
No,
for AMC. Yeah, last week.
wow.
So that means that they're more than likely in talks with something. Dude, it's like, could you imagine like Amazon buying AMC and calling it like the MGM theaters and
Yeah,
using the brand for it,
yeah. And like with your Prime
bro?
membership, like you get like access to certain films and stuff or whatever.
That
Yeah,
Amazon, I don't want to give you any
everything would be
ideas.
autonomous and like they have plenty of tech they would integrate.
Yeah, because you don't. Yeah,
It would
that
keep the
would be
movie theaters
phenomenal.
alive, but also keep like a fun little like revenue and a little fun little thing in Jeff Bezos' pocket, you know.
Yeah, honestly. So it's interesting. We'll see where it goes. This thing still gotta get approved and everything, but the handshake has been made,
Yeah.
and that's what the big thing here is. So, yeah, we'll see. Uh, I really don't want MGM to go away as a brand. It's again, it's cinematic history, right? I was even bummed back when Disney MGM Studios had to change their name
I
because of
know.
MGM being too greedy, I guess, and or Disney being too cheap to pay them what they wanted for the royalties. But the great movie ride near and dear to my heart in that movie, that ride is no more. So,
Yeah. Mickey
um,
Minnie
yeah, yeah, it's actually a pretty good ride.
is.
That new Mickey ride. So yeah. All right, gaming. Want to talk Xbox first, Jill?
Yeah, go into it.
Okay. And this is very quick. There's not a lot to go around this, but we forgot to mention a couple of weeks ago that Xbox is officially ending the backwards compatibility transition to the new consoles. So basically, the game that if you have a game that was not available on the backwards compatibility list, and it's not basically as of like a couple of weeks ago, it's not gonna happen. So I'm not sure exactly how many titles for the original Xbox and the 360 that will be. But there's a lot. There's a lot of games that are not um, getting ported. Mostly because of like licensing stuff, right? They have a licensed soundtrack or an actor's likeness or any of that stuff. So if it's any of that, if it's not there, it's not gonna happen. So they are ending the program. So yeah, basically it. I'm still waiting for PlayStation to roll out anything backwards compatibility wise. Not really, honestly. Like I would like to have it as a feature, but I'm indifferent towards it. Honestly, um, I'm actually very uh, grateful that we could make the generational transition as smooth as it's been, because it's been really smooth, right? I've been again going back to what I've been playing. I've been playing Sekiro on the PS5 because of the frame rate, and but then I'm still playing like Resident Evil 4 on the regular PS4. Although I have it downloaded on the PS5, but it's just convenience. I have a PS4 here in this room. I should actually link remote play because
Oh yeah.
I haven't linked it, and there's remote play on PS4 with PS5, so I should do that. Um, but yep, if it's if you're looking forward to one of those crazy Xbox games that never got a BC patch, it's not gonna happen. So I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Yeah, not much to be said. I mean, I know that backwards compatibility was one of their big like staples, for a while because obviously like PlayStation had always been very restrictive with that. Like only a few PS2 did that shortly at launch with like the PS1 and PS3 had like the the OG one had that PS2 like but it's never been like really a thing like only right now us having this with PS5 is actually a really huge deal at launch the way it's going which is pretty good but like I say all that to say like Xbox is like they've been pretty good about backwards compatibility for a while so yeah, it makes sense to me, honestly. I understand where Microsoft's going with this. Like, it's probably not really worth the effort, anyways.
Yeah, I'm looking at the list. Um,
Like,
looks
don't
like
get me wrong. You love if anyone loves those titles. Like, I'm not saying it's not worth it because the games aren't good. It's just probably really, really as a business, it's probably not in their best interest right now.
yeah, looking at it from here, right? The one that stands out, and I think there's already a like a remaster for it, is Alien Isolation.
Hmm.
Alien Colonial Marines is not there. Let's see. They have a pretty substantial list of games that are not compatible. So, well, this is just one section. Holy guacamole! There's a lot. There's a lot that it's not like the Batman Telltale stuff. It's not there. Arkham City is not compatible. Arkham Asylum is not compatible.
That's weird.
Interesting.
Now
Well,
it's getting weird. Now I didn't
yeah,
think.
yeah, it is like the that Bionic Commando remake, that Rearmed that came out, and the other game that came out a few years ago is not. Man, it's interesting. They have a lot of stuff like none of the Cobella stuff, like the hunting games. I mean, we're gonna see that. Captain America, Super Soldiers, not
Ah, it's
backwards
my favorite.
compatible. How was that game? I saw
Never played
us
it.
never played it. Did you play the Thor game?
No.
Okay, I
Like the
saw
only of like the MCU stuff was
Iron
the
Man.
first Iron Man.
Yeah.
I still got it for PS3.
Yeah. There's quite a lot. I mean, nothing that's Dead or Alive. The Dead or Alive games are not backwards compatible. Wow. Disney's
Hmm.
Fantasia. Oh, because it's Connect. So they're not. None of the Connect stuff is probably
Well,
backwards compatible.
they
Yeah.
want to make you forget about that.
Yeah. None of the Dynasty Warriors stuff is backwards compatible. So none of the Tecmo stuff, because not even I don't think the Ninja Gaiden games are backwards compatible, or I think the first one is. I'm not sure. There was a huge thing because you know that did it come out already? That Ninja Gaiden remastered thing that was coming out for PS4.
I'm
Let's
not
see
sure.
on the fly. News just to see. Master Collection. Interview June 10th. Looks like June 10th. Let's see.
Live fact checking.
Yeah, June 10th. So, apparently, like, Xbox fans were asking us, like, hey, why is this based off the PS3 games, um, and not the original Xbox and the Xbox 360 game? So, they gave an explanation. I have an explanation and a theory. Well, I have more of a theory rather than an explanation, right? I'm not associated or affiliated with Tecmo in any way, shape, or form. But the Tecmo said that they lost the code for the original Ninja Gaiden, the one that came out for the original Xbox. I believe it. I believe that's true. Um, Back then, people need to realize that archiving it was not a thing. This storage was extremely expensive and restrictive back in the back in those times, like what 2002, 2003. Yeah, so
Yeah, it's been a while.
it's it was restrictive, expensive, so they're not gonna if they don't have to keep that data, they're not going to do it. The same thing happened with Kingdom Hearts, where the code was there, but they got rid of the assets. So when they did the remaster Kingdom Hearts that came out for PS3 and then now it's on PS4, um, they used the assets from the 3DS games and they just upscaled those. So I believe Tecmo on that one. For Ninja Gaiden 2, it's plain and simple, man. That is a Tomonobu Itagaki game, and they want to not be associated with that name at all. So that dude got fired for hashtag Me Too, and they are not going to publish a game
Staying away from that.
that he was involved with. So that's what it is. He directed that game. He was fired and flopped with another game. I don't know where he's at right now. It's
Oh
probably
wow.
just you know, I really don't know. He did that weird game for the Wii, um, Devil's Own. That game's like supposed to be really expensive because there was like 20 copies made. All right, on the fly fact checking for Devil's Own on the Wii. Huh. Let's see. Loose $249. That's loose.
What?
It was. I'm sorry. It was for the Wii U. Yeah, it was a Wii U
Wii U,
game.
yeah.
Um, here's one for 180. But
Super
that's
rare.
there's two. There's two copies on eBay, Joel. That's how rare this game is.
Bidding war.
Yeah. Oh man, I am intrigued. Who bought these copies? Now I've seen people online. $400, 450. Interesting. Another 400. Not many copies out there though. Yeah, this game had like 4 copies made, dude. It's ridiculous. It's like you probably had to like pre-order to get a physical copy of the game, and then it got delisted, and like a month later, the online was turned off. It was like just absolute disaster, dude.
Oh man.
Disaster. The game was terrible, and yeah, dude, it is. All right. Well, Xbox is what it is, and they're doing all right now with Game Pass and all that good stuff. So, Joel, there's a Horizon Forbidden West extended or reveal, I guess, tomorrow. We're recording early, so we're not going to be able to talk about that, but we'll make sure to bring it up next week, see what's up with that. And that is basically it video game wise. Not a lot of stuff, out of the ordinary happening. E3 is, 3 weeks away. Sony confirms that God of War is indeed called God of War and Ragnarok. We kind of already knew that.
Sure.
And there's a leak, Joe, from this afternoon that allegedly Uncharted 4 is coming out on PC.
Hey, that I'm fine with that.
Yeah. So that got leaked in an investor call. So apparently that is happening soon. So yeah, I mean Uncharted 4 has been out for what, like 5 years, because
Oh yeah.
they did their like 5 year thing on social media a couple weeks ago. So
Yeah, and it's like hard for me to realize, like, man, it's been out that long, but no, it's been out for a while now, and
yeah,
we've
man.
had our fun, and that's a real exclusive. Like, it's been that many years, and now they're saying, okay, we'll bring it over to PC. Like, it's fine. Let more people enjoy this
Yeah,
incredible experience, and no, yeah, have you gotten? I don't think you've gotten to even play it yourself yet,
I
right?
haven't. No, no.
Yeah, if you ever,
I have it
it's
on
one of those
PS
things if you
Plus.
ever
Yeah,
have, like, it's a good one for sure.
yeah, I have it on PS Plus. I wanted to see if they released like a performance thing on
Oh,
PS5, and I'll play
sure.
it. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. Also, the picture came out for the new movie. Still came out with
Oh
Tom
yeah.
Holland and Mark
And
Wahlberg.
Marky
So
Mark. Yeah.
interesting. I thought Wahlberg. I don't know how it's gonna fully go down, but I was like, hey, maybe Wahlberg's gonna have the white hair and all that, like Sully. I didn't know how they do it. Well, nope. He's just Mark and
It's
Tom.
Mark Wahlberg from Transformers,
Yeah,
basically.
dude.
Give him at least a mustache. Come on.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. I was
had to.
surprised.
You had to at least give him a mustache.
Yeah.
That was weird. But yeah, that's what we got. Again, sorry about the technical difficulties there at the beginning, but I am glad that we were able to at least sail through. No more issues after that, so we're fine. Joe's what we got for this week. Go ahead and plug us in, man.
Absolutely. Folks, thank you for sticking with us. Please stay subscribed to our show. Look for us on podcast platforms, iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify, Amazon Music. Search for No Load Time on podcast platforms. Subscribe. Subscribe to our video version on our YouTube channel. Make sure you're following us on our social media. We come to you live on Facebook. If you're watching live on Facebook, thanks for joining us. We come on each week, usually around 9 p.m. on Thursdays to record, but make sure you stay follow us on our social media, follow us on our Facebook, turn notifications on. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. Also, if you have any questions, comments, feedback, we'd love to hear from you. So we'd welcome you to send an email to us at No Load Time. That's our Twitter handle and our Facebook and Instagram. And then you can send us an email to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. And who knows, maybe one of your questions will be answered here on the show. You never know. So we look forward to hearing from you. We look forward to see you guys on our next episode, and stay safe.
Thank you, guys. Stay safe. We'll see you again next time.